You're listening to the Cyberwire Network, powered by N2K.
This summer, soccer is here, and so are the watch parties. And Uber Eats has your game day essentials covered. Everything you need to keep your crowd happy, delivered straight to your door. Get wings, pizza, chips, dips, fresh ingredients, and more. Keep the soccer going and all your game day essentials flowing. Order in so you can lock in for the games. Only on Uber Eats for a limited time.
This episode is supported by Black Hat USA. If you follow the research, you know a lot of it breaks on Black Hat stages. Hundreds of peer-reviewed briefings, more than 100 hands-on trainings, and the largest business hall in Black Hat's history. 6 days to learn the skills you'll need tomorrow, August 1st to the 6th. Prices increase July 17th, so book before then. Use code CYBERWIRE for $200 off your briefing pass at blackhat.com. We'll see you in Vegas. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CyberWire's Research Saturday. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is our weekly conversation with researchers and analysts tracking down the threats and vulnerabilities, solving some of the hard problems, and protecting ourselves in a rapidly evolving cyberspace. Thanks for joining us.
This M1 in particular, it pulled from two different places. So one is bulletproof hosting providers, particularly one of our recent or past white papers. We've identified NiceNIC as a bulletproof hosting provider. So we have that on the one end. And then on the other side, just kind of this idea of, okay, what are general behaviors of bad, So that's the other side. So we were thinking, okay, let's look at everything that's hosted on NiceNIC, and then looking to see of those domains, which ones are providing resources to websites. And through that, kind of looking at those behaviors, we found this big cluster that we have said is DriveSurge.
That's Lauren Fiveson, senior threat researcher from Silent Push. The research we're discussing today is titled Meet DriveSurge, a new threat actor using click-fix and fake update drive-by attacks in thousands of compromised sites. So I think probably most of our listeners are familiar with things like ClickFix and fake updates. At what point did this activity stop looking like them and start looking like its own coordinated operation?
So the interesting thing, and so I'd say like ClickFix and fake updates, I won't say it's a group, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn on this because I'm kind of starting to get into looking at this myself, admittedly, more than in the past. But that's just a tactic that's being used. So what's interesting about this is we see the big piece is actually a TDS being used, a traffic distribution system. So that is the starting point. That's what's embedded into these victim websites. And from there, we see it getting, depending on what the victim looks like, their browser, all these other things, that's where it's getting parsed to, ClickFix or, the fake updates to even like different advertisement distributions.
Well, let's talk about DriveSurge. What business are they actually in here?
So we can't say for certain at the moment, but everything that we see and from, kind of our past experiences, we believe this to be an initial access broker. So that piece being more of the TDS system that's occurring. So we, again, believe that this group they're the ones going out and compromising these websites, injecting their domains into it. And in the background, that's what's happening is we initially see the TDS occurring. And from there, the victims are getting kind of pushed to different places. So the IAB part to us is the TDS system. And then it's almost like a pay per install or pay per, victim to come our way. So we imagine, again, we haven't found 100% proof one way or the other, but we imagine that, someone comes and say, hey, I need victims that are using Chrome, or I'm looking for people in this arena. But yeah, we believe initial access brokers, someone will come in and say, we need this type of person, or we're looking for access in this area of the world, or anything like that. That traffic distribution system essentially can kind of help with that. People will click and they can see, oh, they're using this browser, or they're coming from here. And so that's how we see this working.
Well, walk us through the victim journey, if you will. What happens when someone visits one of these compromised websites?
Yeah, and I'll say there's two victims really here, right? There's the compromised websites. Their sites are victimized in and of itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as a person browsing to the website, and that's another interesting thing, is this is all happening in the background. The TDS system that's being used, you don't see it. You'll go to the website and you can browse however, and not have it. You have to really dig deep into the website code to see it. So what's happening in the background is that TDS system is collecting all sorts of information about you and, seeing where you're from, what kind of browser, and all this stuff. And if you hit certain gates, if you hit certain criteria, then this TDS system will send you to wherever it is they have it set up. So it could send you to a certain click fix where, you get the pop-up saying, oh, your browser is out of date. Download this. It could send you certain advertisements. So those are the different things we see. And it could be certain people browse to these compromised websites and they don't see anything at all because they don't hit the criteria that's being looked for.
Now, what about the compromised websites themselves? How do they fall victim here?
Well, I would say they're victim in that, they're being used in terms, they're being compromised. Now, are they losing money? I don't know. At a certain point, it might be picked up that, hey, this isn't a great site to go to. So I'll say this is kind of me speculating. I haven't said this is exactly what's going on or we've seen it. But, if you imagine if you got these small businesses, they have their website, and at a certain point, someone's like, hey, if you go to this website, it's bad. Maybe it's being blocked somewhere and you're not getting visitors. You need that traffic, for revenue or just get your name out there. So in the immediate, it's probably, they're victim because they're compromised, but does it hurt them in the immediate? Probably not, but there could be consequences down the line.
Yeah. One of the things that really struck me reading through the research was the scale of this operation. Can you share with us how extensive was this infrastructure?
It's pretty big. And so we right now tracking, as of today, everything current. For example, we see 200 domains tied to this group across a number of different IPs. So that's just today because we kind of look at everything going on right now. And then victim-wise, we're into the thousands, probably. I don't have the exact count. I would have to kind of go back and check, but well over 5,000, I would say. And when I say victim websites. So it is pretty extensive.
We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Are all batteries the same? That's like asking if all soccer players are the same. Take Messi, the most decorated player ever. Is there any other player who has achieved that? No, just him. Now take Duracell. Is there any other battery with power boost ingredients inside? No, just Duracell. Remember, goats only trust goats because they're built different. And Messi only trusts Duracell.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Your team identified some technical fingerprints here that were associated with the infrastructure. Without getting too technical, what are some of the things that you all discovered?
Yeah, so I think there's a few different areas we've gone through, and I think probably anyone who's been an analyst will probably be shaking their head like, yep, get that. Like, so for example, some of these domains we're seeing with registration reuse of emails. So that tends to be a good pivot point. But the other piece that we really, probably a lot of our fingerprints are actually on the delivery of the TDS, this particular TDS system going on. So, and we kind of look at things like the URL path that's picking up the resources, kind of uniquenesses in that. And then we're also looking at, we found some for the malware, for certain pieces where it's delivering malware, we're able to fingerprint the servers for that, as well as the actual TDS server. So the server's holding, the TDS piece that's being served through the website. So we can kind of look at the different configurations on the server side to kind of pick up where that might be.
What is your sense in terms of how long this operation has been operating? Have they been at this for a while?
Based on the data, a lot of it starts in January of this year, so not very long. We do see for some of more of the back-end servers, we see it to go back to September of 2025. That said, that kind of hints at they're newer, wherever this group is newer. I kind of caveat that with maybe they just switched infrastructures and we're just not seeing that connection farther back. So yeah, I guess I caveat a lot. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's the nature of the beast, right?
Right. So yeah, so we see, like I said, we see really this particular cluster looks very new. We haven't made any connections to history yet. So as of right now, our best guess says they are new to the scene, or this cluster is kind of newer until we, discover otherwise.
Yeah. It strikes me that there's really two stories here. There's the malware delivery techniques that you've outlined, but then also there's the industrialized infrastructure behind all of this. Like we're just talking about the scale of this. Do you think that's accurate, that these are both noteworthy?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, just the scale, I think, and that's where, kind of going back to, we're thinking more of the IAB type group here on that scale. That's their job, going out and finding compromised web or vulnerable websites, compromising, they're building up this infrastructure. I think in general, across a lot of these online criminal activities, they almost seem like a company in and of themselves. So it's not surprising to see it at scale. And then from there, they likely, again, theorizing these are IABs, that's their company. So they're gaining access. They need a big foothold to therefore have clients of their own, coming in and paying them for access.
For the security folks in our audience, for the defenders out there, what should they be considering as a result of your research here? Are there any actionable lessons that they should take away?
I don't know if there's anything new that we all haven't heard, being safe on the internet. I think this is more towards the individuals, don't go clicking on things, even if a pop-up comes up and says, hey, you need to download this, don't click yes. Don't, always question everything. in terms of companies, I mean, it's hard. It's that cat and mouse game. You're always trying to defend. The best to do is just try to be aware, try to go out. I know I'm not supposed to pitch our stuff, but not our stuff, but in general, you've got a lot of people use the community of people finding these bad things, because you can't do it alone either, I would say. It's so big. We have to work together. So when people identify, hey, this is bad, we need to block this, companies, you need to work on blocking what people have found. Oh, that's the best I could give.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like there's definitely a security and awareness training sort of component to this, which comes with things like ClickFix.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, unfortunately, I think most of this is the end user. For companies or people with their websites, kind of be aware of what, that it can happen. But I have a feeling a lot of these victim websites that we saw, usually they're not setting up their own servers. They have someone else doing it for them, or they're using a service online, to set up these websites. So it's hard to say, go out and look at your website and make sure, it's not compromised. It's hard to do that, I'm sure, on their own. But that is one way, you at least have that in mind. Or I think companies need to be aware that it's possible, and probably hopefully go out and find resources for that. And then, the other side, the people behind the computer clicking the mouse, that awareness, pretty much can't trust almost anything.
Right.
Second guess, don't just jump right in. Always wonder why something's there, or if something, immediately pops up, say, well, why now? Close out and go look somewhere else and make sure that's what you really need.
Our thanks to Lauren Fiveson from Silent Push for joining us. The research is titled Meet Drive Surge, a new threat actor using ClickFix and fake update drive-by attacks in thousands of compromised sites. We'll have a link in the show notes. That's Research Saturday, brought to you by N2K Cyberwire. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. Your feedback ensures we deliver the insights that keep you a step ahead in the rapidly changing world of cybersecurity. If you like our show, please share a rating and review in your favorite podcast app. Please also fill out the survey in the show notes or send an email to cyberwire@n2k.com. This episode was produced by Liz Stokes. We're mixed by Elliot Peltzman and Trey Hester. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Peter Kilpie is our publisher, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here next time.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Traditional home security only alerts you after a break-in, and that's too late. SimpliSafe is changing that.
Stop. This is SimpliSafe. Police are on the way.
We don't just alert. We stop crime before it starts. SimpliSafe. Plan starting around $1 a day. Save 50% on your new system with professional monitoring at simplisafe.com/Spotify or with promo code Spotify.
Outdoor deterrence requires a SimpliSafe Active Guard outdoor protection plan starting at $49.99 a month. Visit simplisafe.com/licenses for alarm license information. Tennessee 2012.
Stitch Fix. Stop shopping, get styled.
A+ on the outfit, Miss Turner. You are about to slay parent-teacher conferences.
Oh, these? Just the most perfect fitting jeans my stylist sent me.
Oh, hello, you, who didn't set one foot in a mall and still looks amazing.
Just share your size, style, and budget, and your stylist sends personalized looks right to your door. Stitch Fix. Get started today at stitchfix.com.
To my stylist. This look is dedicated to you. Thank you. Thank you.